Hi there everyone, it's Misty here from TheJollyFatElf. Happy Monday. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's video, I'm doing the last two cards for the Moana release for December for Stamp Anything. I apologize that these are late, but if you missed my kind of end of the year recap video, it's been a rough couple of weeks, but I got them done and I actually love both of them. So the new release comes out this week, so I'm a little far behind, but make sure that you check out Stamp Anything's YouTube channel along with their Facebook group, so you will be able to see what's coming next. So I am doing something a little different today. We're going to be using some watercolor pens rather than Copics. So I stamped Te Fiti on a piece of watercolor paper using VersaFine Onyx black ink. Now, I did stamp initially with StazOn and my pad wasn't juicy enough and I was like, I'm just going to do it with VersaFine. So I stamped it with VersaFine onto paper, and you guys know that I always do a duplicate. So I'm using the Chromatech watercolor pens. If I can find them on Amazon, I will link them down below. I love them. I had all of the zig markers and I just could not get to a point where I felt comfortable blending with them, but these are fantastic and I'm not using any water. So I started with black as my darkest shade because I don't really have a deep green that is a more kind of bright, vivid green. And so I wanted to bring in a little bit of darkness. So my thought for Te Fiti was to do, because she's green. I mean, when she wakes up, she looks like a head of broccoli to me. So I was like, okay, how can I differentiate the different parts of her when she's green? So what I've done is I've done her quote unquote skin, her face and her hands in this kind of more yellowy green. Like if this was Copics, this would be YG090705. I'm going to do her kind of hair in kind of the same color family. And then for her crown and a little bit for her dress, I'm going to bring in a much cooler kind of blue tone, like think of like a sprucey color. And that's how I'm going to do her crown. And that's how I came up to differentiate her colors, because again, she's just one big green thing. Don't mean it like that, but you know what I mean. And the other design team members did a great job. Annabelle just posted hers today and oh my gosh, so pretty. But they're also pretty. And like I said, the new release comes out this week and it's so much fun. I can't wait for you guys to see it. So I'm coloring this the exact same way I would Copics. I'm using my darkest color first and then pulling that color out with the lightest color. So I didn't have to use any water for this. I could have if I wanted to, but that's what I love about these pens so much. They just blend so much easier than I found the zig ones to do. And I got like a set of 50 something for less than $30, which is way cheaper than the zig ones. So again, if I can find them, I'll link them down below. I think they're a really great investment. So I was trying to find a way to bring in the black on her hair, but also have a hint of green. So I'm kind of doing the same thing that I did for her skin, but I'm also bringing in this kind of olivey brown. It's kind of like a warm gray taupe color, but it has a bit of green in it. And I am coloring that behind her face. So that's going to be the darkest part of her hair because it's behind her. And again, I'm using hair loosely because that's kind of how Anne has illustrated this design. But again, she's just one green island, right? So yeah, anyway, so I'm using that black along the folds. I don't outline her hair that way, but I do the dress and again, her skin and stuff. And I'm just trying to add a little bit of variation to her to give her some dimension. Now, if you saw just a second ago, initially I was watercoloring this and I picked up, I think it's Uli. Is it Uli watercolors that, I mean, if you're on Instagram, you ever see them do like the big kind of mixing of watercolor. I mean, those are so pretty. I mean, I wear eyeshadows that use those pigments, so I love them. But I picked up like a grab bag from them and they had several different greens. I am going to use a green and a pink with this. But when I was initially watercoloring, I just didn't like the way it looked. And so if you know me at all, you know I am very much bright and vibrant. And I wanted this card to be bright and vibrant, but also in a different coloring medium. So you guys will have to let me know what you think when in the description box, in the comments down below. I'm not sure if any of this release is available. If it is, it will also be linked down below. All of my Stamp Anything links are affiliate links. So if you make a purchase through them, I appreciate it. So this is the last video of 2024. How whoa is that? I am going to have my craft room tour video. I can't promise it'll be Wednesday, but it'll either be Wednesday or Friday. I am in cleaning mode. Of course, I'm having to do it slowly because of the back stuff, but I am definitely ready to get that filmed. I'm just excited to share it with you as you guys are to see it. So for those of you who've been with me since day one, you've been my ride or die, you're welcome. Here it is 10 years later. But what's great about it is like this is the final iteration because things are bolted in place and aren't going to be moving. So if I make any changes, it'll be a couple of small changes and I'll actually talk about what I would like to do in that video. So again, see how smooth they blend? They're just, I don't know what it is about these. And this is actually the brand of gel pens I bought as well. I bought these first, and then I went looking to see if they had any more colors, and they didn't. But they had those glitter gel pens with the refills, and I'm like, whoa. And you guys know I get a ton of use out of those. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. I really love how I really love how she turned out. The whole card. Now, I am going to have a piece of not alcohol, what am I trying to say? Okay, so my initial thought at the very, very beginning, before I even thought about watercoloring, was I wanted to make a background with alcohol inks and then stamp her on it, and that would be how I colored her in. 10 out of 10, that was an epic fail, and you'll see that in a minute. So I don't have any footage of me making the background that I'm going to use for the island, but I can just kind of talk you through it. So aren't these so sparkly? They're so pretty. So I'm using just a tiny bit of water and that kind of darker color going behind. So I did just the hair and her crown and the kind of really pretty duochrome shifty. They're shifty. I can't tell you if they're multichrome or duochrome, but they're gorgeous. They are so pretty. And again, I haven't watercolored in forever, and I do enjoy it, especially when it's shimmer. I just came upon a video today that was somehow still saved when I used to watercolor with Wink of Stella. I love doing that too. So I made the mistake of doing the flowers while the background was wet. That's the one drawback of using watercolor paints or paints, pens, etc. is that if the background isn't dry, it's going to pull. So it pulled, the pink pulled some of the green from around the flowers, that darker green, but it doesn't look too bad in person. And then I went on top of it when it dried with gel pen, and it looks so much better. I love her so much. She turned out so pretty. I love her so much. So here is what she looks like in real time. Isn't that so pretty? It's just so sparkly and pretty. So there is the epic fail of the alcohol marker experiment, but I thought, ooh, that would make a really cool island. And again, I wanted a way to differentiate her from the island, but the island is green because she's been resurrected, right? So yeah, anyway, you guys watch those conspiracy theories? I got a conspiracy theory about how the flower from Tangled comes from Montanua. Montanua? Am I saying that right? I don't know. Anyway, who knows? I don't know. Okay. So I have a piece of, I have a card base, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. I'm going to add a piece of washi tape to just the score line because I am going to be doing, again, trying to differentiate 2 blues. So I'm going to be using, I think it's Caribbean Sea from Stamp Anything for my sky. And then I'm going to be using that other kind of teal color for the wave stencil. And oh my gosh, again, I'm very proud of this card, as you can tell. I've been, like, Christmas has been on my brain, and to kind of step away from that finally feels good. And again, I really love how this turned out. I really love it. And I can't wait to get started on next month's release. I haven't really sat down and planned for January yet. Yes, I know it's December 30th. I don't even have my planner set up. Listen, I've made a mess for myself. So I'm not sure when I will work with that release, but I don't know. It'll be in the next couple of weeks for sure. You're going to get 3 cards with that for sure. So now I'm going to go ahead and fold that in half on the score line, and we're going to get everything attached. I'm going to be using just some regular tape runner to attach the island. As you can see there, I noticed that there was going to be a little bit of white, so I just brought in that lightest color to add to that end. That end does get a cut off, but there is a little bit that would have peeked through. So yeah. Now the only thing I did when I did this is I have it a little bit higher than I wanted it, but it's still, I don't think it's going to get smushed by the envelope, so it should be okay. I am using a white gel pen to add some dots to her pupils and then dots to the center of the flowers. While she's drying, I'm trying to be very careful and add some Scotch mounting foam to the back. And we're going to get her popped up. And there's a sentiment is actually going to go on this card. I know, you saw the thumbnail, but you're like, whoa, Misty, really? I'm like, yeah. And sorry I haven't decided on what my thumbnails are going to be going forward. I am trying to transition from Christmas in my kind of photo place area. So I'll get it figured out. But I just took these pics on behind with a white background. So yeah. So I am stamping the sentiment, you are the heart of our friendship, in that same VersaFine ink. And I'm cutting it down. And then I'm going to add that to the card using some more of that Scotch adhesive that I just cut down in really thin strips. And then once I do that, I'm going to add a couple of pink gems, and that's going to be it for this card. I really love how she turned out. I just love it so much. This was such a really cute release. I'm sad that I didn't get a chance to do Moana and Maui, but who knows? You guys know I like to add surprises to my cards, so maybe they'll show up later in a different video. But yeah, so that's card number 1. And here's a look at her and the background. So on the alcohol ink, before it dries all the way, you can add a piece of foil and then like peel it up, and you can see it got a little foil on the background. Love it. So here I am. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was freezing to death, so I made a coffee, sharing it with you. So for this one, we're not going to do any stamping. I'm only doing die cutting, and I don't know what you would call this technique, but I am going to be die cutting. Maybe it's like blackout, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I am putting some black cardstock on some sticker paper. This is double-sided adhesive. I keep calling it sticker paper. It's not sticker paper. It's double-sided adhesive. And I am cutting out the word die from this release. Then I'm cutting down a card layer that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That is also black. And I am going to be doing this over and over and over, and then adding this to the black card. So it's going to be black on black, but it's going to say mahalo all over it. And I like a kind of repeating pattern, my own pattern paper, but without having to stamp. I thought, oh, this will be quick and simple and easy. This took me longer than I thought it would, but I still love it. So I started with the word, and now I'm just going to go in the order. So now we're going to do the hibiscus, and then I'm going to cut off the end and put that on the second row. It's not straight. It's not meant to be. It's just meant to kind of be there in the background, and then we're going to I think it's spotlight. You can call it whatever technique you want to. Blackout, spotlight, whatever. So I am going to bring in some glitter paper for the outline of the word, and then I'm going to use white for the inside of the word. So if you've been with me or you've followed me on this channel, you've seen me do like a faux neon before, and that's kind of what this idea is like when you use white with a very bright, vibrant color behind it, and then you put that on black, it has a neon effect. And I thought, that'll be really, really cool. And again, it's just a repeating pattern, but we're focusing and spotlighting the word in the white and the pink. So I did that, and I ran the white through on sticker paper as before. And now I'm going to bring in some more of that Scotch adhesive, and we're going to get that adhered. And that's going to be it for this card. I am going to bring in a couple of colored rhinestones because I felt like it needed something else. But yes, again, Not as quick or as simple as I thought it was going to be, but I love how this turned out. And if this is something you guys would like to see again in the future, just let me know. I do have a birthday card on the channel where I used white balloons on a white background. I really loved how that one turned out too. So I hope I was able to give you some inspiration on how to use your word dies, how to use this release. I hope you had fun. You guys seem to love the Hey Hey and Pua Saving Christmas card. I loved that one too. It's so cute. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to frame it or if that one's going to go up on the website. So yeah. So anyway, I hope that you have a safe and happy New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. If you're out and about, be careful. A lot of accidents and stuff, make sure you call for a ride if you're out drinking, etc. Rob and I are going to be at home. He's going to be watching hockey. I'm probably going to be filming. That's our anniversary. New Year's Eve is our anniversary. So we're going to stop Thursday on our way back from Oklahoma and have our little anniversary lunch. And so, yeah. So I love you guys so very much. Thank you for sticking with me through 2024. I'm excited for 2025 and excited for things that are going to be happening on this channel and to me. And I thank you for coming along with me. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate you. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Be sure to say hi in the comments down below and let me know which card was your favorite. Have a good day, night, weekend, wherever you are. I love your faces. I will see you Wednesday or Friday. All right. Bye for now.